Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
WNBA players lose their minds. 2026 season is canceled. League folds in early 2027. Mid 2027, Caitlin Clark announces the launch of her new professional basketball league to start in 2028. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Do me a favor, smash the like button. I want to take a moment and say, in all seriousness, it really does help out tremendously. Without you hitting the like button, obviously viewing the video is important, but without hitting the like button, the channel just withers and dies. And the reason I'm bringing this up now and saying a little more about it, and I promise I'll get to the topic as quickly as possible, is I had a couple of people today. I had someone actually post, and I thank them for the shout out on X about really enjoying this channel, saying it's one of the best for WNBA and Caitlin Clark coverage, and that they can tell that YouTube is doing the whole shadow ban with me in terms of reach and so forth. And I mentioned that once or twice here or there. And I had another person, then DM me and say, hey, yeah, you know what? I don't get notified when your videos come out. I've hit the bell, and on and on. And I know numerous of you, that's really poorly said. Many of you have mentioned that in the comments as well. Mike, shout out. I know you have mentioned multiple times. You've probably resubscribed to the channels half a dozen times at this point because YouTube will unsubscribe you as well, and you don't even know that it's happened. So I just want to say, if you are enjoying the content, please take a second to smash, tap, click, whatever it is, the like button. And if you have subscribed, please make sure you are still subscribed. So anyway, let's move on. And obviously I was a little hyperbolic, over the top, a little tongue-in-cheek sarcasm, but this is why I don't know how I missed this. Apologies. Now this says last updated August 11th, but I think this first came out even like 7 or 8 days ago. WNBA players not satisfied with massive pay raise proposal as imminent lockout looms large. Say that 10 times fast. Now, I just did a video the other day about how bad some of the ratings have been for the WNBA, and then we get this. And apparently, here it says WNBA likely headed toward a lockout. Now, that's amazing. Now, I know you've heard me say that a few times, that I think that is probably what may be happening, but to see it actually in print like this makes me wonder. They said, even though money is going to increase, the athletes are demanding change to the current financial model of the WNBA will not settle for anything short of fair compensation. Fair is a subjective term, so that is a real problem. That is a real problem, because what the players may consider fair, considering they feel they are entitled and deserve certain things, and what the league says is fair, could be two very, very different things. And they want parallel play. NECA, by the way, more problems in Seattle, folks, that they want to sweep under the rug again, but that's probably another video at another time. Talking about, by the way, just graduating from Stanford does not make you more than qualified to represent the players during a negotiation for a new collective bargaining agreement. Just saying, for whoever's writing this article. But she says the players are still adamant that we get a percentage of revenue that grows with the business, which perhaps includes team revenue, and that's just part of the conversation. Again, the WNBA, and I've said this before, does not make enough money for that. The WNBA has already done that in the past, and the league they have not hit the numbers in order for what the players get to kick in. So of course the players are going to want numbers they don't deserve before the league can sustain that. That is a big part of the problem. I don't know why it says the league is offering more money temporarily. That's absolutely bizarre. But apparently, and this is why I'm doing this video, the WNBA's latest offer had a huge increase in salary cap and maximum base salaries to probably the upper end of what a lot of us thought they might be able to get. A league source suggested to ESPN that salaries could increase fourfold, to where the top players are getting 7 figures a season, which would mean the rookies would be getting more like what the max number is right now, but the players said no. And look, I do realize there are other things that don't even tie into money that get negotiated as well. But if you have heard all the things that the players have said and how they were insulted by this offer, that tells you what they're looking for and how far apart they are from the league. NECA says it's basically the same system that we exist in right now. Clearly, it's not. They're proposing a system that includes revenue that would grow with the business. When you approach it from the perspective of their response to our proposal, yes, money is more, but ultimately, if you look at the growth of the business, the money relative to the percentage of everything is virtually staying the same. I don't know that that's true, but what really confuses me is that she says they're proposing a system. When she says there, I'm assuming she means the WNBA, proposing a system that includes revenue that would grow with the business. Okay, well, isn't that what you're asking for? That's what's really confusing to me, and I haven't been able to find out any other details in terms of what she is saying there. But we're talking about a 4-time increase in salaries. They've already got the chartered flights before the WNBA could even afford it, thanks to Caitlin Clark. And yes, the media rights deal is much bigger, and that may be where she's saying salaries have grown with that. But again, don't forget the league has been losing money, and now they added the charter flights. We've talked about, and I know people say, "Oh, I know I'm going to get in the comments. Oh no, the WNBA is making money, and the NBA is lying to." Look, from every source that can be found, it's an estimate. I get that we haven't seen the books, but it is estimated that it's been about 10 million a year. And then Caitlin Clark's rookie year was 40 to 50 million, and that's because they threw in the domestic, the chartered flights. So that all has to be made up. Okay, whatever the number is, it has to be made up before stuff can go to the players. So that 4x in terms of the media rights deal isn't really 4x because you've got to make up the losses first. And to that point, I just want to show you something else real quick, just to give you an idea. And to be fair, because I showed you that one that was on NBA TV, which was really, really bad. Here we have Liberty Aces. Okay, so we've got the supposed franchise of the league, the class of the league, right? New York. It is New York. The Liberty against the face of the league. I almost said the horse face of the league. And oh my gosh, if that had slipped out, I'd be getting in so much trouble. That's why I'm shadow banned. But the face of the league with and the point guard, not just the face, but the face and the point guard. That is like epic ratings. They were on ESPN, folks. ESPN, and only drew 650,000 viewers. That is not going to get the players what they want. Do you understand? That is a problem. And then again, we go back to last night or the night before, Liberty again, New York. New York, LA, folks. New York, LA was the very first game played in the WNBA. 210,000 on NBA TV. 210,000. Now, Wings Fever, you can see up the top, ESPN, 1.28 million. Now, I'm not comparing that to the Liberty Sparks because that is NBA TV. That isn't fair. But compare that to Liberty and Aces, New York, and the face of the league. And the Wings Fever did double that. And again, that is the Caitlin Clark effect. As much as people are going to say, "Oh, well, it's the Wings." No, you can look at ratings of Paige Becker's other games and the fact that they don't play in the bigger arena for Paige Becker's. That is still Fever fans, which goes back to why it seems a lot of people are starting to think they're stringing the fans along in terms of when Caitlin Clark is coming back. And that is why, because they don't want to lose that number. And again, that is not a good number relative to what a Caitlin Clark number would be, but you can still see that the Caitlin Clark effect is keeping the Fever above what other teams are drawing. But again, the Wednesday night, Liberty Aces, 650,000 on ESPN. Tuesday night, Wings Fever, Caitlin Clark's team, double that. So this is going to be interesting with the CBA. Like I said, if these players are adamant about what it is they want, they are really, really far apart with the league, and that does not bode well for a 2026 season. And if they actually cancel an entire season, I do not know that this is a league that can handle that and still stick around. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out this video. Smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.